Hey bro, I know it hurts. That silence after she leaves, it's loud, louder than any argument, louder than any "I don't love you anymore." One day, you're laughing with her. The next, you're just scrolling through old photos wondering what the hell happened. And I get it, you want answers. You want to fix it. You want to text her, tell her you miss her, get some kind of reaction. But deep down, you already know that won't bring her back. It will just push her further, because the moment she left, emotionally or physically, a game began. Not a game of love, but of energy. And here's the twist. The more you do, the less she feels. But the less you do, the more your presence starts to haunt her. This isn't about ignoring her or playing tricks. This is about reclaiming your power, your attention, your mind. So let's talk about what really happens when you pull back, and why, when done right, it changes everything. Point 1. The energy she used to feed on is gone. Look man, I know you're hurting right now, but let me tell you something that might shift the way you see all of this. When you were with her, when you were texting, calling, checking in, she wasn't just noticing it, she was feeding off it. That energy you gave, that consistent attention, that comfort of knowing you'd always be there, she got used to it. It became her emotional safety net, even if she didn't say it out loud. But now, that energy is gone. And I'm not talking about fake silence, where you're still watching her stories and hoping she sees your posts. I'm talking about real grounded silence. You're not chasing, you're not reaching out, you've disconnected your emotional supply line. And bro, that absence, she feels it. It's not instant, but slowly, day by day, she starts to notice the shift. The silence isn't just quiet, it's unnerving. She starts thinking about you not because you're pushing yourself into her world, but because she can feel the difference now that you're gone. That energy she used to rely on, she's realizing it wasn't hers, it was a gift, and you've stopped giving it. Point 2. You've broken her pattern of control. Bro, hear me out on this. When she pulled away, she expected you to react. That was part of the pattern. She'd go cold, and you'd chase. She'd go silent, and you'd double text. That little power dance, it kept her feeling in control. But the second you stop playing that game, the second you go quiet, truly quiet, you break the pattern she was relying on. Now she's left with silence. No reaction, no validation, no clue what's going on in your head. And trust me, that messes with her more than you realize. She's not used to it. She expected you to crack, to fold, to prove you still care. But now, you're unreadable, and that uncertainty makes her overthink. She starts wondering if she miscalculated. Did I go too far? Has he really moved on? Why isn't he reaching out? And that's where the shift happens, bro. You're no longer the one reacting to her. She's now reacting to you. That's the power of silence. It's not about ignoring her. It's about breaking the script she thought she could control. Point 3. She starts hearing your silence everywhere. Bro, you know what's wild? When you go truly silent, not petty silence, not waiting for her to notice, but genuinely detached silence. It starts echoing in places you wouldn't expect. She starts to hear it in the little things. That song you used to send her, now it hits differently. That time of day you'd usually check in, it passes. And there's nothing. No good morning, no how's your day going, no late night, I miss you. Just emptiness. And you might think she's not noticing. You might assume she's moved on. But trust me, she notices. Because now, your silence has taken up space in her mind. It's louder than your words ever were. And the crazy part, you're not even doing anything, you're not reaching out, you're not watching her stories, you're just not there. And that absence, that mystery, it starts playing in her head like a loop. What happened? Why is he really gone? Is he thinking about me? That's what silence does, bro. It turns you from a man she used to know into a question she can't stop thinking about. Point 4. She can't tell if you've healed or hardened. Listen man, this is where silence gets dangerous in the best way. When you go quiet, she can't read you anymore. And that messes with her, because before, she could feel it. If you were sad, angry, hurting, your energy gave it away. But now, she doesn't know. She doesn't know if you're still heartbroken, or if you've completely let go, if you're sitting in pain or leveling up in peace. And that uncertainty, It eats at her because we live in a world where everyone overshares, posts, quotes, stories, little look at me now moments, but you're doing none of that. You've gone ghost, and not in a bitter way, in a focused way, calm, controlled, stoic. That's what haunts her. She's sitting there wondering, did he move on? Is he becoming someone I don't even have access to anymore? Was I a chapter and now he's on a whole new book? And that mystery, that silence with no closure, it doesn't make you look weak, bro. It makes you look powerful, because a man who doesn't flinch or explain becomes unforgettable. Point 5. Your growth becomes her regret. Bro, this is the part she never expects. She thinks you're sitting around missing her, replaying old text, stuck in that same pain she walked away from. But what she doesn't see, what she can't see, is that while she's watching for weakness, you're building something stronger. You're not just quiet, you're working. Getting back in the gym, focusing on your goals, fixing your mindset, leveling up in silence, and then one day, maybe through a mutual friend, maybe she just stumbles across your profile, she sees it. Not the same guy who used to beg for her time, a man she barely recognizes, a version of you that didn't just survive the breakup, but used it. That's when it hits her. Not because you rubbed it in her face, not because you posted some fake I'm doing great story, but because you outgrew the old you and left her behind in the process. And let me tell you, bro, that stings more than any message you could have sent. She didn't just lose the guy she knew, she lost the man she helped create, but now has no access to. That's the kind of silence that speaks volumes. Point 6. When you detach, she reflects. Here's the truth, man. When you were always there, always texting, always available, always ready to talk, she didn't have to think. She didn't have to process anything. Your presence made it easy for her to avoid feeling the weight of what she'd done. But when you detach, fully, you give her the silence she needs to finally reflect. She might act unbothered at first, staying busy, laughing with friends, showing off that I'm good without you energy. But it's fake confidence, because when everything settles, when the nights get quiet and there's no message from you, that's when it creeps in. And now she's not just sitting in silence, she's sitting in self-reflection. She starts thinking, was I too harsh? Did I give up too soon? Was he actually the one who held it all together? That space you gave her isn't just distance, bro. It's a mirror. And when she's forced to look into it without your energy to hide behind, she starts seeing her own role in what went wrong. You're not doing anything to make her feel that way. You just stopped saving her from it. And that's when the regret begins. So if she walked away, let her. But don't chase. Use the silence. Grow in it. Let it sharpen you. Because one day she'll look back and realize the loudest thing you ever said was when you said nothing at all.